Kia ora watu, and welcome to the wonderful Folwds Park, which is hosting this clash between the Mount Albert Lions and the Otara Scorpions on ARL TV and with Stream Shop. Great to have you along, and a good crowd's in today for what is the first of our preliminary finals here in knockout competition, and it's going to be a big ask here for the Otara Scorpions coming up against the Lions, but they're ready for it, they're up for it. Their coach is saying that there's been a great mood in camp for the Lions. Well, they're such a successful club over the years, they'll be looking forward to putting one across the Scorpions here this afternoon. A bit of an overcast day, but a pleasant day here in this ground that bears the name of a man who is a long-time broadcaster too, and Ray Cody, which is the fitness track around the outside of this proud ground. The Otara Scorpions out plenty of whatiolofas. Three of them are the sons of Peter. One's a nephew as well, so a lot to like about the way that they've prepared. They got into this knockout match after a victory last week against the Manarewa Marlins. The coach of the Scorpions for today is Saula Suomasi.
Saula, thanks for joining me. A big game actually for Otara, knowing that 3 weeks ago you got beaten convincingly. How's the preparation been leading up to this match?
Yeah, well, I think we just always wanted to make the six. That was the first goal, so we've made it. We're here now, so it's all out for us, do or die. Finals footy, haven't been here for a while, so exciting for our local boys. Boys haven't been into the position before. Always good to play teams like Mount Albert because we take the learnings from it, and hopefully the learnings we got from the last game will benefit us at the end of this game.
A lot of talk about the forward momentum that you have, the big men in the middle. Are you going to utilise that today?
That's a secret, Richie. Yeah. Look, we're going to do what we're good at and what we're strong at, and obviously our forwards set the platform for us. But I guess the big thing for us today, and we're focused on, is our defence.
Awesome. Appreciate your time. Cheers.
Well, it's a proud club and it's a proud rohe, so they'll be doing their very best today. And of course, they've had some wonderful players along the way. Taura Nico, Taukeiaho, Vatuvai. Just to name a few, the Mount Albert Lions, this is the way that they line up today. And joining us in commentary this afternoon, former Kiwi International and Captain Richie Barnett. Tēnā koe, Richie.
Tēnā koe, Dale. No, always good to be in the studio with you, mate. And today's a big day for Mount Albert. They've got everything to lose. They're coming up against a side who is desperate to go out there and play positive football. And so with this in mind, it's their home ground today, so they're looking to put a really good performance. They had a poor training session this week, but I'm sure they'll bounce back.
And the coach, two coaches really for the Lions, Matthew Sturm, and we caught up earlier on with David Whaalonga.
David, final football ahead. How's the preparation been for the lads?
It's been pretty good. We're, I guess, grateful that we're in the finals. It's a very young side that we have so far, and I mean, everyone stepped up to the plate and done the job throughout the season. So it's boys are excited. They're ready to go.
So you've beaten them three weeks ago convincingly. What have you told the boys this week leading up to this match?
Yeah, nothing about that game. It was just all about turning up. Finals footy there's no next week, so basically you got to play with everything you got. Don't leave nothing in the tank, and just turn up and be ready for a challenge.
Appreciate your time. Good luck for today, mate.
Thanks, mate.
And isn't it great to see you guys who've had international experience coming on back and working in the local rugby league scene. Of course, the Fox Memorial is one of the most prestigious club tourney across the country, and David, Matthew Sturm's done really well in his career as well. David, of course, South Sydney Rabbitohs. He played for the Knights too, the Huddersfield Giants in the Super League, and then ended up with the Ipswich Jets in the Queensland Cup. So a ton of experience here as we see this proud club making their way back onto the track. And when you look back across the history of the Fox Memorial Championship, this club looms large. Multiple premierships, the last of them in 2012, Bartercard Cup champions too, the list goes on. And of course the club formed way back in 1928 is proudly located here at Folwds Park. Good to have you along too. Thanks to Auckland Rugby League and the continued live streaming of this local proud championship too. That allows people to watch live, as you might be this afternoon, but also it's posted up on the YouTube channel on Auckland Rugby League's Facebook website, so you're able to access it and you can tell your friends who have connections to these players that they can watch it, whether they're here in Aussie or even in Uzbekistan. You can still pick up the Auckland Rugby League live streaming. It's nice to be working with you too again, Richie B, and a bit of a whānau connection for you with your young fella almost turning out in the top side for Mount Albert last week, but instead he's opted to go across the Tasman and trying his hand with the Burleigh Bears.
The Burleigh Bears, yeah. He's left early this week. He had a chance of playing first grade last week. Opted not to. The transfer went through, so he was looking forward to playing first grade. He was really excited about it, and David and Matt Stern were obviously giving him an opportunity to have a taste of first grade football.
Well, good luck to him too. He's just 18 years of age and a name to look out for. As we mentioned, there are a lot of sons of wonderful players, but I'm a little hesitant too because young men need to build the mana of their abilities off their own bat. Yes, there's some hereditary factors that will come into play, no doubt, but it can put undue pressure on a young guy who really just wants to get out and enjoy his footy if his old man was successful. And when we look at that, we're talking Peter Fatialofa with 3 sons and this squad making their way onto the field. And
absolutely, like Aidan Ackland also, coming back from Manly this year, also has got a name that's synonymous in rugby league, and you've got Isaiah Wagner, Sebastian Sewer as well, and obviously Tia Rapati's young boys as well. They're involved in Mount Albert, so yeah, they've got there's a bit of stock there. But at the end of the day, you're right. You said it rightly. It's finding their own identity as a player and just enjoy the game.
Well, the main thing about sport, isn't it, about rugby league, it's not the grades you're playing, it's the friendships you make, the lifetime connections, the networking or whanaungatanga that's involved in playing in team sport. So we're really pleased for these two teams to have made the final. As Solo mentioned, they're just chuffed to be here. And, of course, the compressed format forced by the COVID challenge has seen a shortened competition. As we speak, they are reviewing what will occur as far as the shape of the Premiership, the Championship in 2023. And once sealed, that will be in place for the next 3 years. But hats off to all of the players across the board. It's been tough going for some of the teams who normally would be in third or second tier competitions, coming up against some of the heavyweights of the first division scene. We're about to get underway. Joseph Green is our referee this afternoon. Scorpions running left to right. And as always, the start is so vital to be very tight in your defensive work and give yourself a chance at the back end of the first half and into the second. But games can be lost in the first 10 minutes if you can take your eye off the ball. Great to have you along. Thanks to ARL TV and the Stream Shop for bringing you these live pictures. Dale and also Richie B in for the call this afternoon. Hope you enjoy it and hope you get a good solid 80 minutes of great footy to enjoy here. Park football from Tamaki Makaurau, and we're underway with the home team in possession. Dummy half is Aston, Moses Onge, and the big man Robert Allen Fatialofa. There's the first of them. He's in jersey number 12 is Talaki down to the right edge. And a good little run here from Ethan Jardine. Ngawamo. And the first mistake, not even a minute gone.
No, 2 players who are notable for their offloads, Ethan and also Sebastian Sewer. And if you're around that ball, it's controlling that ball, but also playing positive football, which we just saw just an instant there. It was always going to have some impact in the game. So early in the game, an offload went astray. But they've certainly got players who can offload at will.
Marcus Fraser has been such a wonderful contributor to the local scene too. He's in jersey number 7. Perhaps an unnecessary attempt at the offload there from Jardine Ngawamo. But they still have possession, the Lions. Perhaps it was a knock-on, obviously, too. A few little jersey changes here. 21, 20 are your traditional 7 and 6 for the Otara Scorpions here this afternoon. Ashton shuffles right, finds Shumple. So a threatening run here. Back row is Sewer to Ackland. Now a show here from Peters. He straightens up, and it's a desperate tackle here needed here from the Scorpions to keep him at bay. But the roll-on continues here for the Lions. This is Isaiah Wagner. Big, powerful, strapping young second rower. As you can see, about 15 metres out. They opt to go down the right edge. That's a powerful run there from Rory Uropati. And the Uropati whānau well represented here this afternoon.
Absolutely, that was very quick play there from Mount Albert. You can see the line spit, you can see the energy in the ruck, and they want to create quick play the ball, and that's, I think, their go-to. They've shown their cards already early on. Their defence from Otara has been exceptional in that first set.
Well, sometimes in the boxing ring you see fighters, they'll come in and they'll just try and settle each other out, and a lot of eyeballing, shaping. Others will charge straight from the corner and rip into it with flailing arms and hard and direct punching. Well, that seems to be the attitude the Lions have taken into the game so far. 2.5 minutes gone here, the Scorpions with first touch of the football.
Good line speed there from Mount Albert.
Much wind to speak of at the moment, but then again, I'm not talking to the camera staff. We're on top of the trailer we're broadcasting from here this afternoon. Back to the Scorpions. It's a solid set for them. And it goes deep, a little bit slippery underfoot here for Johnson Peters, who eventually regains his composure and possession as the Lions bring the ball back. And a good defensive effort once again from Robert Allen. Fatilofa, the big guy, and number 10 here this afternoon.
That's a good carry. Again, Otara getting to the kick, which is the most important thing, building some pressure. And D is the obvious one here. They're playing the ball quite quick. They just need to lay on them a little bit longer. Push the boundary there.
That was Ropati with the carry. Some good young talent for the Lions. Really pleased with the way some of these youngsters have come on today. But when you're in the mix with experience, and there's a decent piece of D across the top, absolutely nailing the runner. Auckland decides to send it down to the other end of town. The Scorpions back. First on the D is Aston. And the penalty as well to the visitors from the south side.
It'll be interesting to see how they play, Otara. There's opportunities on the edges. They do condense and play very straight up the middle footy. It'd be nice to see them go a little bit wider once they get a little bit, start to find some variation in the way they play.
Well, there have been some wonderful players, notable players have come out of the Mount Albert Club over the years. And the Scorpions, well, they've had a rebuilt facility which has really added some spark and some class to what was really a changing room that had been adapted to a club room, but a little knock on here. So these are mistakes the Scorpions can ill afford. There have been some big results in the competition throughout the year. And we were talking prior to kickoff here about how difficult it's been for the Papatoetoe Panthers, who've been hammered, and sometimes week after week by big schools, sometimes 3 number schools. And we're pleased to hear that last night they had their first win of the season against Papakura. So as you can see, a bit of rain around.
Yeah, just talking about that actually, the big improvers I think this season has been Manukau and Te Aratu. And again, another early knock-on. And clearly an arm sort of for an opportunity post-line play, create second phase again. It's 2 errors, unforced errors.
Early in the season, we're lucky enough to call a wonderful game at Moyle Park between Bay Rossville and Manukau. It ended up in a 40-all draw. They are doing battle as we speak at Whitney Street Reserve, the 2 teams. Manukau surprisingly beating Mount Albert. Normally they wouldn't even get a chance to line up against them. As we see Otara, nice work from Jacob Bourne at the back here as they start to build some momentum and gain some field position. They'll opt to have a look down the short side. A settling run from their big men. Dummy half work for Josiah Fatialofa of the 4. Fatialofa's on track today. He's the nephew. Came back from overseas and just wanted to play with the Nefs. In fact, I'm talking to here about McGrath Luluai, who's the first cousin of the Fatialofa boys. And he came back from England and just wanted to have a run around with the Cussies, and so we've got quite the whānau connection interwoven throughout the Otara Scorpions lineup here this afternoon. Johnson Peters, we get another look at how that came to be. Some good D there, and that was rolling loose. Papali'i across the touchline. We're broadcasting from the southern touchline here, the ground that runs east-west at Folwds Park, home ground of the Lions. Got some decent defence on at the moment. Coming up towards 8 minutes of play, still no scoreline here. Both teams really just getting into the arm wrestle, prepared to do the grinding and the tough stuff, but some good defensive work here from the Scorpions early on.
Yeah, good tight defence there, and Mount Albert are likely to shift the ball to the edges, particularly to their big men. It goes out in the full, which is another mistake from Mount Albert. We've got Sebastian Sewer and then Isaiah Wagner on the right-hand side, notable for the offloads, notable for getting through the hard work, and post-line opportunities in the second phase is always there. So they've just got to be careful, Otara, to put some numbers around those big men on the edges.
Well, you can't fault the attitude that the Scorpions are bringing into the clash. They're coming certainly as the underdogs, with Mount Albert finishing third and the Scorpions sixth. The winner here this afternoon will line up against the Point Chevrolet Pirates next weekend. And of course we've got a 4-week finals series culminating in an August 6th showdown for the Fox Taonga. And that of course is to be played at Mount Smart Stadium. So McGrath Leulawai is the runner here, and calling for the quick play. The ball is Fatialofa, penalty right in front of the post. There'd be some temptation to look at two. This is finals footy, although we think there's going to be plenty of points scored here this afternoon. Who knows how tight it might end up. They opt not to worry about it anyway and send the big men rolling forward. That's Giovanni Fatialofa with the setup. This is Simao, back on the inside for Fatialofa. Manu. Josiah. He has a look towards the line. Josiah Fatialofa. To Giovanni. Out the back door here with the face ball. The skip ball picked up on the far side of the field. Rory Ropati is quick to it though, and the ball back on the inside is gone awry. So Mount Albert survived the raid here.
There's some very good opportunities for Otara to really post some points. A little offload there on the flank for inside ball, but there was a good opportunity for them to secure some points when there's been a couple of errors that Mount Albert have gifted Otara. It would have been a good time to put the pressure on them.
Well, the pass hit the deck and of course made it more of a scramble than a structured play. As Ed Auckland comes in to feed the scrum. Big ups to his mum and dad, such staunch supporters of our local game over the years. John, of course, still teaching in a great way with young athletes. Good to see Matty Sturm involved here. Gee, he's been a Trojan too for the local game, Matthew. Well, there's a willingness to get into the mix, that's for sure, here by the Scorpions. They're no shrinking violets at the moment. Right edge.
And this is Seb Sewer. He's very industrious, this young fella.
You would have had reason to watch them, considering that the young fellow was in the mix here.
Well, he's got a contract with Newcastle next year, so it's good to see him in first grade. It'll certainly help him in Newcastle next year.
So that rolls end over end. Then up the Carlo Park Hill. That's what it looks like, that right edge of the Carlo Park Hill.
Don't bring back that park.
Oh, beautiful memories.
Beautiful memories, right?
Yep, for sure. Sneaking in under the fence.
Catching those balls when they kicked over.
Playing rugby league up on the hill in front of the scoreboard. Yeah, great old times, all right. We're having great times as well here in the park footy. It's wind-up time, and Shopko gets hold of it. Goes direct, good defence on him too. Josiah Fatialofa says, try as you may. I'm ready. Come and get me. Auckland. Lovely work. Fullback Peters chimes in. Tries to get the ball across to Waitapu. In the end, sensibly goes to ground. Fraser. Reliant on the big man this time, Jardine Aoma. Fancying their chances here, the Lion. Auckland holds it up, double pump. Out wide, strong run to the corner, and the Scorpions are halted right on the corner, right in the corner. Look at the congratulations that's going across there. Well deserved also, because it looked like the Lions had the key to the door.
Yeah, the Lions used the width of the field there. They come left, posed a bit of threat on that left-hand side, and then Aiden Auckland went across. Wagner with the ball. Considering how tall and big he is, you'd think he would have gone over. He couldn't put the ball down. The three players come across defensively. Again, they've nailed twice in that corner the ability to defensively stop 2 tries.
Well, they've repelled these strong, focused attacks. And that's going to build confidence here with the Scorpions.
It's a good carry there.
Manage this set well. Get down the other end of the track. Crossfield goes Fetulainga. Good start here, 13 gone, still no score, tight. Finals footy, as you like to see it. Short side charge here for the Scorps. Quite the week of rugby league, and anyone who couldn't get expired for Wednesday night's torrid clash in the State of Origin.
Incredible game.
And they'll be coming out here hoping to emulate some of what they saw in Brisbane. Not so happy about it myself. Cost me a cube roll of sirloin.
Oh, I don't want to talk about it. But they were exceptional when they Queensland. And just the aftermath of that football. But the first 15 minutes was just incredible, wasn't it? Right up to the 78th minute.
Solid.
That's
team.
the sort of defence we're talking about.
Olaway there. With the big don't argue. Nice little dummy here from Aston. Dragged down from behind. Talented rake. To his feet, Peters, the distributing role. Auckland finds Ropati. Like the work that Josiah Fatialofa has been putting on D. Nice hands there, soft hands as well from Aiden Auckland, who went across to Manly. Things didn't quite work out, but of course the fortunes of Mount Albert seemed to improve when he returned back to the club that he's grown up in. Marcus Fraser with the left foot kick, just trying to weight it into the end goal. Pressure on at the back for Jacob Bourne. He's equal to the task this time around. It fields it just a few metres out from his own line.
Well, what are we calling here? Fraser, a lovely kick into the corner. Applied the pressure with the running left flank. It's a penalty to Mount Albert. Unsure why.
So we'll look here and see what Joseph Green witnessed. So here's the play.
Could have been impeding the defence on that right edge. There's nothing in the ruck as such, but if we go around here, the right side,
The Scorpions.
didn't look like there was much in it. It looked like a blocker in the line, I'm not sure.
And that's opened up the door on the far side of the field and has probably resulted in the first try, has it? Or has that been repelled as well? By the way, Otara celebrated. It looks as though they might have just been able to curtail the run. I thought it was shut the door.
Tito knocking that ball on, dropping it out. Again, that cover defence is stoic. And it's infectious at the moment. They're drawing their players in, hold them up, and there's a bit of space and time for Penatito. But look at this tackle from Otara to come across. Oh, that was a try. And what an effort defensively. Incredible.
I must have got bundled into touch just prior to getting the ball down. Still 0-0 here, and it's the Otara Scorpions who have survived numerous raids at their line, and now it's their turn to haul you-know-what and trudge their way down the field. How they manage this set's going to be vitally important. Out of dummy half, a brilliant little run here from Josiah. Quick play, the ball needed, and Julie delivered. Scorpions on the roll. Step and straighten for Giovanni. Fatialofa shunts off one in the form of Sua, shut down by Vangana. Onto the boot now. Bounce, slightly awkward, hard to contain. Great to have you along here, Auckland Rugby League TV. Bring you live stream coverage as we get another look of Josiah Fatialofa's sterling run.
He's been in everything, hasn't he? He's controlled the ruck. He's identified some good opportunities. He's run. His defence has been outstanding throughout this match.
This is Tyrell Waitapu. Well, if the Lions thought that they had an edge over here as the big Scorpions defenders come flying through. Ton of attitude on show here at Folwds Park this afternoon. Out of dummy half, Atherton. Nice angled run too. Again, it's Jardine Ngawamo. The big unit. Slow to get to the play the ball. He delivers up now. Short side run. It's through the hands of Fraser. Finding Ongi. Moses Ongi on the straight and run. Beautiful little offload back on the inside. Flick pass. Skillful, smart, and a pleasure to watch as the first try is delivered from Johnson Peters.
Great effort there from an Albert. That post line play with some support on the edge and the inside, and then backing up again on the inside to score his first try, Johnson Peters. What a brilliant start to the match. Good defence, though, from Otara, repelling them early on, but the pressure started to build. They identified on this left edge again, and this was a nice run there from Moses, who cuts through. A nice Fraser is in good position there. Look at that, just spins around, was able to get through. Good pace from Johnson to score the first try of the match.
Yeah, it was a beautiful little offload. Marcus Fraser, it's such a wonderful tool to have in your kit, to be able to sense that runner on the inside. It just soft hands and delicately dropped into the basket there for the hard-running Peters, who makes no mistake. Well, this is a fairly straightforward conversion, as you can sense. Lovely winter's day here. Trees denuded of leaves, but they'll come back. It's an interesting place to call footy. One time, I remember early in the season, we were calling from up in the club rooms, and everything is set up, but I didn't realise that the trees were full of leaves. We couldn't see the field, so we had to move away.
Oh, it's a nice play, isn't it? And it's so good to have support when you need it most, and from the halves, and then you got your fullback lingering around to pick up the pieces, and Johnson was certainly there. Recipient of some good play on that left edge.
That's Corey Sita. We're seeing jersey number 2. The Lions Lear. Other notable rugby league news through the week too. Andrew Webster secured as the coach going forward for the Warriors. Benji Marshall with an opportunity at West Tigers too, by the way things are rolling out. Of course, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck makes his debut for the All Blacks tonight. After such a proud NRL career with the Roosters and the Warriors. This is Sebastian Suap. If we've already mentioned it, but Murphy Sewer, his dad played cricket for New Zealand. Sebastian, really important here that Otara retain discipline and focus. Another look at the reason for the penalty.
Just holding down too long, and you got to push that boundary, you really do. And they're just starting to find their rhythm, and you've got to shock them out of their rhythm, Mount Albert, before they find those points again.
Well, they've had a glut of possession, there's no doubt. The Lions, as Lopati steadies the ship. Solid there on Ethan Jardine Ngawamo. Action again, holding, and waits his pass nicely before delivering up here to Julius Lafaele. So Otara under the pump here, under the spotlight. Jardine Ngawamo again with a good carry. He's provided with some good, solid, big man work. Cut out ball is nicely delivered to Sita. He looks at the end goal, skinny end goals here at Folwds Park, but this time the sliding cover defence from the Scorpions equal to the challenge.
Well, it's been equal all right throughout this match, isn't it? That edge defence, particularly the wingers and the inside players coming across. Luaki did a great job there to, again, put the body in a place. Look at this, a long pass, which is a great pass. Puts the pressure on the winger. Look at that defence. Brilliant.
Solid, it had to be made. It's one of those tackles, not an if, it just had to be made. Had they conceded that try, perhaps heads would have dipped. But at the moment, they've got hold of the ball and a chance for them to start putting out some challenges themselves. But unfortunately, a knock-on here for Stanley Tuipolotu. Finds a scrum feed here for the Lions in good field position. They're going to make life tough again in the next set going forward.
Well, we've seen enough of the defence to be confident they can repel them again. That was good work from Luaki again with that tackle on that right edge, and then to take the first hit up again. So the players are lifting the bar, and definitely their energy is high.
Taira Waitapu gets into the scrum as Fraser feeds. It's peeled off the back. Aston with it. Now the straight run from Eden Auckland. He just slices through the middle, and a beautiful step takes him around under the posts. Well, you know he's a classy ball runner. He's good at halfback too, but standoff equally is effective. And this time around, off the base of the scrum, a planned move, and the Lions are in for try number 2.
Yeah, that was at a time that I think Aiden needed to run it. He was delivering the passes on most occasions, setting up plays, working to a structure, and it was that time where the halves have to dictate at some stage they have to run to keep the defence honest. And certainly he showed, he had a good opportunity, he saw what's ahead of him. There was some space there in that right side, left side defence. He cuts him with that right foot, and again takes the fullback across, and then that right foot step again, which is very difficult to defend.
Well, it was a touch of class, wasn't it, from this talented footballer. Jacob Bourne was coming across to try and cut him down, but he effortlessly avoided him with a deft sidestep off the right foot and adding the extras. So I'll be pretty pleased with the way things are panning out here for Along and Sturm, co-coaches of the proud Mount Albert Lions. Still a ways to go. They're just coming up towards half an hour. And for the Scorpions, they've really started the game with a lot of passion, a lot of courage. But sadly for them, a couple of little fundamental errors have had them turn over possession in parts of the field that find them particularly vulnerable.
And I think it's the edge defence where the vulnerability starts to happen, and I think that's what their target was from an Albert, is to work the middle and then look to the edges and play football there for the sliding defenders to be slower, a little bit slower in pace, and that's the opportunity that Aiden created.
This is Lafayette, big man, easily identified too, with a big beard and also his white headgear. Ashton, skillful. Need to get hold of the ball here. This part of the field too, if they can, the Scorpions. So they go to work defensively. Little slip pass finds Peters. He finds again Lafayette. He comes charging again, Lafayette. Good use of the interchange bench here for the home team. Out of dummy half, pop ball too, straight running. And a press with Jardine Ngawamo. By Talamahita. Te tangata nei, te tangata tō. Out of dummy half. Aston again. Inside run. Almost getting away. Isaiah Vangana, hard to contain. It's Tui Polotu who gets hold of him, but not before he gets 20 good metres towards his team's cause. Here's Auckland. Plenty of numbers out on the left. Waiting the pass. Popping it there to Moses Unge. Couldn't quite get through the second rower. But as you can see, danger territory here now. Here's the step. Aiden to the big replacement, Lafayette. And they survived the raid, but only just the Scorpions.
That was starting to open a little there. The ruck speed was starting to be quicker, and it was concerning. They've hit the big men on a number of occasions, and then there was a block play just on that left edge, which should have gone to the sweeping runner on the Johnson on the around the back, and that was certainly been a try.
Well, let's pay some tribute to the tenacity that we're witnessing here from the Otara Scorpions. Of course, that first try to Peters was a nice piece of work with the sleight of hand and offload back on the inside. The second try to Auckland, well, that was just all class, but this is the first try that came at about the 22nd minute. So they'd already put on some big defensive plays. And, of course, that's the one that we witnessed a few moments back when Auckland showed once again his class.
Yeah, Mount Albert have actually hit the lead runner on most occasions, actually, off Aiden and Fraser. So they have to adopt, I think, the sweeping runner where I think there's definitely opportunities for Johnson to call the ball and override it.
This is Fitu laying up. And of course we know that one of the most proud Otara Scorpions is our mate Ruben Wiki. I know he's linked as well because his senior footy was with the Leopards, but he's very hearty with his support for the Otara Scorpions. Old Rubes, the Carver King.
I think he's in the Hall of Fame, isn't he? Announced, which is exciting. It's and quite moving to be a part of the community and the influence he has and continue to do.
Yeah, he's a good man, Rubes. This is Taylor Papali'i gets his opportunity. They haven't had too many chances down this end of the field. The bounce important here, read nicely by Johnson Peters. Tall and athletic. Peters, crossfield, just looking to link arms with the runner up through the middle. It's found with Waitapu on the carry. ARL TV, knockout preliminary finals rugby league for this year's Fox. Little pop pass, and it's Otara who end up with the football through Manu Fatiolofa. Well, their papa would be very proud to see the three boys here today. 17 on the charge too. Rokaha. Check up that number. The back rower here is Laulawai. Good to see James at the ex-Kiwis Association luncheon the other week. And this time, it's Otara who come through. The scorching Scorpions. Great run on the outside is that Tuipulotu. Let's just have a look. But it came across the left-hand side. They've had precious little possession. And once they got a good field position, they were able to capitalise down the left edge.
Yeah, they were welcomed in the first 5 minutes, really, with a bit of ball in the front. And what a try. And it's timely, too. Tuipulotu scores the try off the back end of a good carry early on. And then they charged to the left-hand side. Defensively, they were in the ball there. And a ball he tried to offload too. And the player was there. And they moved the ball to the left-hand edge. And look at this. Bang, he hits the ball. Very strong runner. Close to the line, that size. He was always going to get that try.
And Papali'i delivered the nice pass. The try-assist pass. And it was Stanley Tuipulotu who is in to score. Well, that's just what the Otara Scorpions needed here as we approach the half-time hooter. It's still a way off, but they've conceded 2 tries, and that will just give them the fillip that they needed or need to stay focused on the work that they're doing. Gutsy effort here. Difficult conversion attempt, just a metre or so in from the northern touchline. As the training staff here for the Lions muster up their troops behind the goal line. That one is away. Scoreline 12-4. You're watching the first of 4 preliminary finals here for the Fox Memorial of 2022. 2 tries to 1. Players and spectators and commentators having fun. You're hard to stop. They're big units. Some of these guys on the outside could easily play in the forwards. Stanley Tuipulotu is playing at centre here this afternoon. That kick is deep. And the defence is up quickly also. So the Scorpions a chance to rebuild. This is tackle number 1. They opt down the left corridor for the first run. 2. Just under 10 to play. An intriguing battle between 2 proud clubs here in Auckland Rugby League.
Just that try just really gives them a little bit more energy and belief. Coming back on the side, you can just see it in their body language, and you can see it in the way they're running now. That's a good run there from Josiah again.
He's been a bit of a standout, hasn't he, Josiah Fatiolofa? Prepared to mix it up through the middle. He's a big guy.
And great option in kicking. A good selection of kick there. He had to spiral that ball to put pressure on. Just apply the pressure on a little bit more, just with the simple kick up in the air, will just not cut it. He spiraled it up, and you can just see it was very awkward. He had to reach out for it. It's dropped back in, and it went forward, and that was timely for Otara. They now get the opportunity to convert, apply the pressure on Mount Albert. They've had limited ball in the first half, to be brutally fair. But if they can capitalise on this opportunity, it'll be a big game for them.
Well, Louis Papali'i putting the ball high. Too tough at that time around for Penatito. Here's a little show. The defence work coming in from Waitapu. And getting themselves in good field position, the Scorpions crawling their way towards the line, the Scorps. Here they come, they're putting the big units on show and on the charge. And it takes 3 Lions to put the attacking runner away. Great to have you along too, wherever you are, whatever part of the world. This is Club Rugby League at its finest. Coming to you in the Fox Championship out of Auckland, New Zealand. And this is the Otara Scorpions. 6th after the preliminary rounds, and now into the finals against Mount Albert.
Right.
And that was a good ball. But Isaiah Vangana read the play and was there to shut it down. They've got numbers, the Lions. They need numbers too down the left edge. How did Aiden Ackland come up with that? Lewis Papali'i had it one moment, and the Mercurial halfback comes away with the football and really just takes the lid off the pressure cooker. And they'll be pleased to just take things easy for a few moments while they settle down. Blood pressure high here for the Lions, who are under the pump. It's been a good game, played in good spirit. That's the way finals football should be, the Lions in possession.
Certainly do, Dale. I think they've really shown that this is a good performance from both sides. Sewer just really amping up. He's so strong in the tackle. But again, I've been really impressed with Otara, their scramble defence.
You can't understate the value of the experienced hand that is Marcus Fraser. Now that was desperate recovery work needed there from the Scorpions. Marcus Fraser, well, he's been around the traps for a while now. You went to kick. That was very awkward too at the back there for Jacob Bourne. In the end, scrambled to recover, and he needed to as well, because Corey Sita had his eye on the prize.
Yeah, you've got to get to that ball, don't you? In conditions like this, and when you put such a high kick up, it's going to bounce anywhere. You cannot ill afford to let that happen.
So Julius Lafaele wouldn't be a stranger on a basketball court too. He's a big guy, isn't he? Here's Seb Suap, and Sebastian Su. You've been singing his praises, as we should too. Strong and with plenty of intent with the carry. That's try number 3 for the Lions. Right under the sticks too. Really a body blow here for the Otara Scorpions close to the halftime break.
Yeah, and that's notably their strength in through that middle defensively. The Marcus split, which was quite nice. He juggled the ball a bit there, but his right foot, and just see the power. He's able to deflect players off because of his strength and his ability to offload. Look at this. He had ample time, the defence, to come up, but he just shrugged them off, used his body, really pushed off the defenders with just grit and determination. He's able to get under the post, and that's put a dent in Otara.
Well, it's the classic old hit and spin, wasn't it? And used to good effect. It's a nice tool for the big guys through the middle. Some guys just want to get the quick play of the ball and want to go straight ahead and get up quickly and play, and others fancy their chances and talk about wriggle room. Or says, I'm not going to just make it easy for you. You're going to have to wrap me up and put me away. They didn't.
Speaking of hit and spin, Ruben, I remember in a game when he was obviously young coming through, and he was just excellent at it. Moving his body and twisting and turning. He's such a big bloke too. He's a winger back then as well. But that's lovely work from Sua, and he missed his mouth completely.
I think so. I was looking there. I said, well, where's that water? Is the field not wet enough?
Don't overdrink. All right, boss.
I say, I want you to take a swill and then spit it out. All right, he says, oh, well, I'll just miss altogether. Great observation there, Richie B. Well, 18-4 probably doesn't reflect, the energy that's been expended here in the first half by Otara. But the fact that Aiden scored under the posts, and in fact all three have been scored under between the sticks, haven't they? So 3 conversions. Look at the scoreline, look pretty decent here for the home team. Plenty of possession too. And Johnson Peters gets a little bit tangled up there. They're playing Twister. 14 on the track now is Daniel Leon. Saulo Suomasi was pleased and very proud to help steer Otara into this knockout final. Timer for that was Moses Unge. We'll get the call back though here. Joseph Green, referee.
Well, they've got the height really to put the ball, and Aiden puts it on a dime too, so there's really good opportunity on that, on the edges with the height difference. Yep, certainly a knock on. Pretty close to securing another try.
It's Manaia Loaki with the football. Little bunched at the moment, understandably too. It's Aiden Ackland, Rory Ropati come in and do a double whammy on the try scorer. Across to the far side of the field, you can see how heavy the track is in that shot, particularly on that side of the field. The rain that has come down flows down those banks and slushes it up a little down the corridor on the far side. And another opportunity to
they'll welcome that.
Charge downfield.
Just been under pressure a bit there and needed a bit more relief there to get back into that half. See if they can get excited with the set coming up.
You're watching ARL TV. Lovely innovation from the local rugby league community. And of course the expertise of the stream shop as well. It's great to be able to call you part of the action. Got some innovative camera guys spinning around.
And we love our local footy.
Oh, we love our local footy.
Now it's heating up, Dale. It's heating up. This is what we want in finals footy.
Well, there's just a minute to play, so they've got to be very purposeful with their work here. It's Jacob Bourne gets them in good field position.
Who's
got just a little bit more in the tank, and there's a grubber kick from the second rower into the end goal. Peters is in trouble, but he secures the football well enough. Just out from his own line, Sita comes in. The Scorpions trying to sting him and get hold of the football. Just wondering whether that was the wisest move there from Manu Fatiolufa. They had a few more tackles up their sleeve too, I suspect. And now at Opati from the fast break. Trouble can occur down the right side as Caleb Penatito. That was deemed a high shot. There's the hooter. They'll get a chance to play out the penalty. Actually decides he'll just go himself, looking for the chip and the regather. Is that going to work out for him? Look at that! And then on to Opati. Back on the inside, skillful. No. I was about to say Wunderbar, but in the end it's gone forward. But a great conclusion to that first half. Hope you're enjoying the action. This is the knockout preliminary final of Auckland Rugby League's Fox Memorial Shield. Great to have you along for the ride. It's 18-4. We'll take a break, come back and have a look at those tries and talk you through some of the highlights of the first half. 18-4 at the break.
get up. Every day I gotta try. Come on, get yourself up.
On and wake up in the morning. While they sore from last night's training. Dude run harder, tackle with intention. Make run the gaps and watch for interceptions. Keep it fair, keep it cool every section. Give your all, pass the ball, put your best in. Enjoy your days, rip your cover your selection. It's that thing that you've been missing.
Don't play rugby league. It's all yeah. You are your club. Come on.
Well, it's been quite a season, and the effort that's been put in here this afternoon from these two teams is indicative of just how proud they are to come into finals play. The Otara Scorpions, yes, they're down by 18-4, but they had a very hearty start to the contest here this afternoon. 3 good tries to the home team, the Lions, but it took them just over 20 minutes before the first try was secured. So there's some strong defence from the visitors, and then a beautiful little offload back on the inside here from the super talented Marcus Fraser. He finds Johnson Peters on his hip, and just another touch of class from the experienced number 7.
Yeah, and Moses obviously on that edge, left edge there with an offload and some good support on the inside. A long pass here. We saw the defence of Otara being courageous. They've repelled a number of occasions, on 3 or 4 occasions where Mount Albert should have scored. Aidan Auckland again identified that left edge. There was a gap wide open and he had to take it on at some point. He passed majority of the time. That took it to 12-0 in the first half. I love that right foot step, and I love the fact that he's gone away from the fullback and then bang off his right foot, cuts back in underneath the post for 12-0. And Otara again starved of possession in the first half. They came back with a wonderful try. Tuipuloto just ran strong with that outside in run, close to the line, big body, and they needed to score points. The scoreline was getting away from them. That's 12-4. They missed a kick, and then Sebastian Sewer coming off. He juggled the ball here, but again, he's been strong right throughout this game. Industrious right over the first half. He cuts back on the right, swivels his body around, he scores right underneath the post.
Yeah, and what we're witnessing here is experience too, because Aidan Auckland realised that the forwards had been working really hard, and as you say, he's been dropping it off and shuffling it along, but this time around he decided to just use his own individual skills and really started the ball rolling, and then that late try to the back rower really made it difficult through that first half. But, you know, we can't fault the courage and the effort that's been put in here by the Scorpions. They're not normally coming up against the Mount Albert Lions, who play Fox at a different level for the most part, but this compressed COVID-induced format has seen these teams coming together, and they're celebrating in that. 18-4 at the half-time break. I hope you'll stay with us, because it's going to be an exciting second half. You're watching ARL TV thanks to Stream Shop. Beautiful imagery. Let's hope it's a beautiful 40 minutes of rugby league still to come.
Wake up in the morning while they sore from last night's training. Dude run harder, tackle with intention. Make run the gaps and watch for interceptions. Keep it fair, keep it cool every section. Give your all, pass the ball, put your best in. Enjoy your days, rep your cover, your selection. This they think that you've been missing. Oh boy, don't play rugby league. It's all yeah. You are your club. Come on.
Kia ora no, kei te mihi atu kia koutou katoa kia ora watu. E a hoa mā. Mauri ora kia tātou katoa mo tua o Matariki. Tēnā rā koutou katoa. Kia ora ko Dale tēnei. So I'm Richie B. Really pleased to have you along here too. And thanks to Auckland Rugby League TV. And of course our mates at Stream Shop who bring the imagery. Chucky's our director today too, and he's been throwing up some beautiful images of suburban footy. It's a great afternoon, a celebratory afternoon here, and one of 4 games, 4 knockout games that are occurring today as we go under the trees and into the heart of our rugby league community. Might also compliment the funksters who put together the tracks that run through the middle there. Hey, that's got you and me drumming on our little knees.
We did.
Here.
We shook the track, and I don't think our mate liked it very much.
We forget there's some camera people upstairs.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes, and they thought, we were excited by the music. They thought it was 7 on the Richter scale. Yeah. So okay then. Well, we'll have to stay a little bit more steady. We're excitable boys.
We're just excited.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the game has got away 18-4, but I was super impressed with Otara and the way they scrambled. They repelled 3 tries in that first half, so it could have been a big scoreline already, but it just showed their desperation and their will to stay in the game.
Well, they've brought a camera around to see how we drummed, but you're not allowed to. You can't away you go. But you're not.
And he loves. We know he can sing.
Can't beatbox very well though.
Oh, he can't?
Oh, not really, I suppose. But hey, what a privilege it is to be broadcasting here in finals footy too. And while we might be having a little bit of fun on the side as broadcasters, we know that she's tough work in the middle here, and it's going to be a tough start too here for the Scorpions. If they can replicate what they did in the first half and just get hold of some football, use some of their big men to get across the line. If they're first to score here in the second half, then all is not lost. But if they allow the Lions through once, definitely twice, it's going to be very tough. I mean, and you could understand if there was a blowout in the second 40. As I say, these two teams don't tend to meet. The Scorpions play in the second tier competition here in Auckland Club Rugby League. But what we do need to impress is what's to be gained by playing sport in communities. It meshes our communities together. It's sort of the fabric that keeps it together. And the relationships that are built between these guys, some of them are obviously blood relationships too, but lifetime friendships are created. So I think the onus is upon all of us to encourage our friends, colleagues, family to participate in team sport right through life. Here's Aidan Ackland with the restart. It's the Lions from left to right, and we thank you for tuning in through ARL TV. And the Scorpions, well, they can be pretty pleased with the effort that they put on in that first 40. Let's see how they go in the first 5 or 6 minutes here of the second half. They have possession. How they utilise the pill here now is going to be super important to the outcome. Down the right edge, we come, and the big men again getting involved. Nice defensive work again from Su'a. 14 in the mix now is George Ropati. What they don't lack is size, the Otara Scorpions.
Well, this is a great set. It's just what's on the back end of it now. I think they need to play some football. And that's a lovely little kick there.
That's Samau with the kick over now. The defensive work here is under the spotlight for the Scorpions. We know they've got plenty of gas. A lot of runners with agility, great swervability. So it's just important that they maintain a a stoic defensive line, if you use that term. A little bit back as Auckland decides he'll go out to the right-hand side to Rory Lopati, which is one of the Lopati boys, but I'm not sure which one. Might it be George, Joe? Big up to the Lopati clan anyway. Great supporters, contributors to the local footy.
Well, Tia should be out there right now. He'd been running.
And of course, one of our good mates we don't see too much of now is old Pete.
Yeah, old Pete.
Peter Lopati. I heard him on a game that came across Sky Sport the other day. Big ups to you too, Pete, if you're watching in this afternoon, watching the Neff play. So it's Otara with the ball. This time it's Manaya Lauaki. To also sense that the Lions have upped the ante in their defensive effort too. Just sort of put a little bit more gas into the tank. Just in from the far side of the field now. That's the attitude. Good carry. Draws in 3 defenders. Big Manu Fatialofa. A problem there for Josiah too, who came out looking as though he'd been clunked in the back of the lemon. The Lions suggesting that's gone forward. Wawarela Fatialofa, penalty. Still some concern here for Josiah Fatialofa in the background.
It's a high tackle there, and there is a little bit of a concern there. There's a flat ball, a look forward, and it was a high tackle here. Where do we? Yeah, high enough. Warrants a penalty.
A bad man, Isaiah Vangana. Not really, it didn't seem so bad, not with some of the stuff of yesteryear, but of course, quite rightly, protecting players and minimising headshots, very important in the modern game. Little Big J, you'll be pleased to watch your young fella running around. Might buy him an earth mover if he plays well.
You mean just walk around?
Best chance for a while for the Scorpions.
2 penalties. They welcome Otara to come back with some attack. Hopefully we'll see some variation in the way they attack, particularly close to the line. It's a great opportunity here.
Here's the back row, Olaway.
Good defence.
They might get another chance here too. And they will.
The outside defenders rushing in, trying to stop the play early on. They've got some big boppers through that middle, so I wouldn't be surprised if one would aim up and just run straight over someone here.
Know that they'll get there first time, but that's the first wave of big boppers. Nice description as well, Richie Barnett. Little dummy and go with that. There you go. Big bopper number 2.
Bebop. Well, looks so easy. Josiah again. We mentioned how good he was in the first half. He identifies when to take that ball on, and he has been throughout this whole match. The hooker, the playmaker, and after a real good charge there from his big front rower, he just was never going to pass that. Line speed was slow, didn't get off the line. Straight in with a try and a timely one too for Otara.
Big bopper number 2 does the bizzo. And the beats start to bang in the Otara Scorpions supporters base. Let's have another look at it. Just a little show through Aiden. Well, he's never going to stop him, Aiden. And I thought that he might have been troubled because a few moments ago we saw him come away from a point of contact holding his head. I thought we might have seen him make his way to the bench. Fortunately not.
His kicks are pretty important, isn't it? He's missed a couple. I know it's a little bit to the left and right of the post.
This is Lewis Papali'i. 18-8. Will they get to double figures here? As Richie Barnett suggests a very important kick. Steadies himself. Here he goes. Hits it nice and straight to the Scorpion supporters. Now they're back in the hunt. Just 8 shy. He's had a terrific game here today, Josiah Fatialofa. And just to remind you too how the mix comes in. The other three Fatialofas, that's Giovanni and Philip and Robert Allen, are the sons of Peter, and Josiah's the nephew.
Wow.
And as we mentioned, McGrath Lulawai is the nephew of all of them anyway. That's how they roll out in Otara, don't you worry about that.
Yeah, good deep kick there from Aiden.
Peter Fat should have played rugby league too. He made his name playing rugby. Look, they're liking this, and so are we too, Richie Barnett.
That's right.
Good carry around there. Manu Fatialofa.
Notice the energies change up.
Giovanni Fatialofa. Go the boys, rip it up. It's all about attitude at the moment, and we're seeing plenty of it on show here. Boom, bang, boom, boom, bang. Gotta love it. Just short of the halfway line. Short side run. Here he goes. Josiah's on the boil again. Oh, he's cooking with gas at the moment, isn't he? Fifth and final tackle here for the Scorpions. What are they going to do? Onto the boot. Chipping over the top is Papa Li'i. There's been all the Scorps there. It's Corey Sita eventually gets hold of the ball, and the Lions look up and say, gee, what was that? Like we've been hit by Mack trucks.
Yeah, that was just one after the other. Driving forward and trying to create some opportunities. I just wish that kick was a little different. Pose a bit more threat. Apply a bit more pressure. And a little chip over the top. I think he just wanted it to land so it bounces awkwardly. Aiden kicks out nicely.
Yeah, good touch finder there. We see the bench on there, on screen. You're watching Knockout Preliminary Fox Finals 2022, ARL TV. Coming up towards 9 gone in the second half. A fight back of sorts here for the underdogs. Finished their regular season in 6th. The Lions are 3rd. Inside ball for Vangana. He's been good today, Isaiah. 30 out for the try line. Auckland holds it up nicely. Finds Fraser. Tries to split him open. Josiah and Manu shut him down, but they might have been injured with friendly fire. Did they come a cropper and hit each other? That's the question here. And it looks like a knee. And that's big Manu. That'll be a real blow for them. But he didn't move much after the clash.
Oh, he's been pivotal in the second half. Carting that ball up strongly. And Josiah there, just great tackle. And then it was just a twist there. You can see him in pain. But again, Aiden holding that ball up enough for the defenders to hold off for that fraction of a second for Fraser, then to have some bit of space and time on that left edge. He runs strongly through there, tries to cut through that hole, but Josiah comes across again, pushing hard in that left inside ball.
Well, he knew he'd done something. You could see it in his face as he hit the ground. Felt it twist. Hoping it's not a serious knee injury. That'd be a real shame.
It won't be long, really.
Beautiful little mutt there. Rufus. We name all dogs that we
Rufus.
see. Oh, just any dog that comes across, the images of rugby leagues, affectionately termed Rufus. But our concern here really is for Manu Fatialofa. Looking up into the crowd, and good to see. It's a lovely place to watch the footy and have a beer at the Lions club rooms. And,
He's not good.
No, he's not looking great, is he? And that's the way that crowds respond. Nice. I'm sure I was calling it Manu, is it? The 11 it is. It is Manu Fatialofa. Well, I'll tell you what, he might be injured and might not see any more of the action, but gee, he can be proud of his efforts so far through the game.
Well, it has been. He's really lifted the bar when they needed those tough runs, and he certainly provided it. They laid a pretty good platform early on, and just in the last 5 minutes you saw players like Robert Fatialofa and Anthony as well rolling through the middle, and Giovanni too carted the ball up strongly number of occasions. So it's not going to be long before we see George Ropati from the hooker, the replacement hooker, coming back on. I think at some time he's going to run the ball, and it's going to be with his pace too.
Marcus Fraser trying to thread the needle there, and the Scorpions read the play nicely. They've got a replacement on a George Ropati. This has been a nice little period here for the Scorpions. They've held their own. They've used their bigger framed men to cause problems through the middle. Running at the standoff, the halfback. Experience, yes, but not the bulk and physicality that the big units in the forwards might have provided. That second receiver. Love their attitude. The big number 10. I don't know if I'd like to invite him around for dinner.
And another good run there from Tui Poloto, coming in to relieve some pressure and the forwards.
And I'll take that back. Robert Allen, you're welcome. Round for a kai any day. Yeah, what? Nice little take at the back too. Good quality on show here. Look at the Scorpions collectively defending. '21's Papa Leahy on the drive too. That's good, D. There we go. George Ropati tries to catch him napping George. Well, he got put to ground there in a Ropati sandwich too, by the looks of things, as these big Otara Scorpion defenders come in, but still making some inroads, this time in reverse gear. The number 11 Vangana, back rower, so good pass. It's almost busting through the defensive line. They've got to be on guard here, the Scorpions, as the Lions come down full of intent. Here's Marcus Fraser with the left foot chip over the top, beautifully taken, skillfully taken. As Aiden Ackland puts the chase on, and Ropati comes across to shut down the runner. Thomas Beale's in 17 for the Lions. So some of the smaller, more agile players for the Scorpions need to get involved. The big men have been hammering down for the last 5-7 minutes. And it's been great to watch. 18-10 scoreline. 28 or so minutes to play here. ARL TV preliminary Fox final. Good to see Bex Russell here as well, the new CEO for Auckland Rugby League, taking a real interest in how the games unfold in the reality for those associated with Auckland Rugby League. That kick downtown is taken skillfully by Johnson Peters. Drops it off on the far side, finding Corey Sita. He links up with Caleb Penatito, comes in from the right wing, and Penatito is silenced. Midfield, 25.
I like that play. I really do. I like the fact that their back three really combine and create something different. Link up, and there's a knock on, which is timely too. Good aggressive defence there from the middle defenders. Sai was involved. And again, here we go. Aiden takes the ball. And this nice little tip on and late tackle engagement sometimes. Here we go. Boom. Good defence there.
There's no hand in there, is there? No, there's not.
It may even look like he tried to offload it.
Well, yeah, and looked like a hand in there, but the damage was already done. See how the ball comes out here?
Oh, he's knocked it, but that's just...
It's a really hard one to police.
It's a loose carrion.
Get frustrating those situations, even in the the high tranches of the code in our internationals. We just get it wrong there too, and they get it right sometimes as well. I'm not completely bagging them, but it's just a tough one to call. Has a hand been in there or not? On the far side of the field comes Fitalaina. Fatialofa. Looking for the ball, the big man, that's great D. There'll be a penalty here for the Scorpions. High shot. Let's have another look at this.
But he's a tall lad. And see how he lowers his body? You can't really see it there, but it's still high around the neck. and he lowers his body as he goes into the tackle, which is a natural instinct, down and over the top. You can see the arm wrapping around from the third player in.
We're back into the live action, so fortunately no long-term damage done as the Scorpions just try to find their way forward here, and they've got to be patient to set the stage for what they need to do here. Don't panic, Captain Mannering.
Just directly run over someone.
Just steamroll across the
like
top.
this.
Here we go. 5 out from the try line. Wow, wouldn't this be something for the visitors if they're able to get over the line? It's Josiah with the dummy. He's strong. He's tough. And he is repelled at the last moment with a desperate Lions defence. Papali'i to the dummy half work.
Oh, good tackle.
Samo comes up and shuts it down. Well, that's a real disappointing conclusion to the set. I'm not sure that Soma realised that it was the 5th and final.
No, disappointing. And you could just see the outside men in support was overriding the pass. Should have been either deeper or given them the options. He needed either kick or have some options on the edge, but unfortunately the players were way ahead of him. Disappointing.
Back with the Lions. Well, to their credit, they had to weather the storm. Now they've come up with a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of possession, and now want some field position.
And the weather's held off for us, so it's just been good. Rained early on.
Yeah, it's been pretty lucky there. Still 24 to go as Rory comes in from the right side, straightening the attack. He's put away by Papali'i. There's the halfway line right in front of them now. Auckland. Beautiful little ball out to Penatito. He puts it back on the inside. Now the chase is on and the bounce imported. Scorpions come up with it at the back through Jacob Byrne.
He's done a great job.
And his opposite number, Peters, is there too. All over him. A cheap suit, as the saying goes.
Nice work there from Aiden, coming across inside and in and away. Draws the outside defenders and then leaves an opportunity for an overlap on that right edge.
Well, the Otara supporters have come along today. They'll be really proud of the way their boys are going at the moment. A bit of a hammer blow to lose Manu Fatialofa because he's been one of their best. But others have stood up here. And this could be the last game of the year. So you don't want to leave anything in the tank, do you? You've got to use it all out on the track. Well, these guys are having a ding-dong battle here this afternoon. Entertaining and a lot of fun. Hope you're enjoying the action. Again, it's skillful interchange at the back. The Peters and Corey Sito.
Yeah, I like this. I like the play.
Penatito again comes in from the right wing. Almost a replica of what we saw 5 or 6 minutes ago. Same play.
Really is an unutilised play from the back three to link and create some opportunities and not be too predictable.
Seb Sua. And you could forgive the big Otara pack. They began to tire. It's been a torrid start to the second half as we approach 18 minutes. Here's Aiden Auckland, always threatening. Stepping back on the inside. Could twist his body and contort it to make it difficult to put away. On to Marcus Fraser, a little chip, if you will. Taken in the end goal. And so we'll restart on the 20. Was it carried back? We'll just check the calling here from Joseph Green. Number 3.
It was in play.
Yeti Fitalainga. And so it'll be under the crossbar.
Nice little kick there from Fraser.
Very nicely done.
I think Moses, as always, is around the ball. If not in attack, he is certainly there defensively. He's had a good, solid game.
Here's the restart. It goes down about 35, and it's taken on the far side by Moses Onge. Samo, first defender. Danger time here for the Otara Scorpions as Thomas Beale tries to weave some magic through the middle. Georgie Ropati comes into dummy half. Out it comes to Auckland. Now it's for Johnson. Johnson's got the ball. Johnson stepping back in here. Peters. Johnson, Peters. Sounds like two blokes, actually one.
Crafty play. He used his body well, didn't he? Johnson Peters.
Oh, which one?
Exactly, both. Split personalities. And it was great that he used the ball, used his body. When the ball was on an out ball, he used his body to get outside the defender. And then he chimed back in on the right foot step and he stepped his way to the ground.
Yeah, well, keeping them guessing. And you just get the feeling that they are earning their right now to attack the Lions because they've defended strongly. It's been a second half start full of attitude and grit here from the Scorpions. And now it might be payback time as the Lions enjoy a little bit more possession. This time it's Thomas Beale who has the ball.
Yeah, block play.
Fraser. Auckland, seen it before, rehearsed plenty of times Tuesday, Thursday nights. And great defence in the end too for Stanley Tupolotu. Here he is, danger man, danger man. Look out. In. It's in. Danger man exists. He was always going to make life difficult. But that's try number 2 there for young Aidan Auckland. Deserving. So plenty of patience, great understanding of the game, can see where the ebb and flow is coming and going. And in the end, he just felt that they were starting to run out of gas, and if he can use all his skills, he's got plenty of them too. So he cuts through the gap, little spin, isn't done there yet.
He showed a lot of strength, didn't he, Aidan? And again, he just controlled the game nicely throughout this match, and his timing of his runs has been perfect. Coming back against the grain when the defenders are slow to get across. You can see here, I mean, great effort for the Otara Scorpions to come across and defensively, but he was just too slight, a little bit of speed to get through.
Courageous performance here. But again, sometimes the outcome of games dictated to not from size, not necessarily from bulk and the big hits, all those things we like in rugby league. Sometimes it can just be biding your time and waiting for the chance to find that gap, as Aidan did then, and then being able to just utilise his body as well as he can to elude the tackler. And it's taking the scoreline out to 24-10. Big ups to both teams here in this preliminary final. Big ups to Auckland Rugby League Television bringing you the action live streamed, as mentioned at the start of our broadcast too. Let your mates know offshore. They can pick up a lot of the local rugby league. A lot of this club footy stacks up too, with club footy out of, or park footy in Oz, some of the lower tier club footy across in England as well. You'd vouch for that, I guess, Richie.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some good footy in England. Fantastic. I've been getting some messages from Hull lately and from the supporter base, and they love their footy over there. I mean, they beat Hull FC beat Hull KR last weekend, and they got absolutely put to the sword against Wigan on the weekend, and not a good scoreline. Under pressure.
I'd love to go to Hull. My sweetheart would rather go, to Greece or whatever. Hey, if we go to Europe, let's go to Hull and Leeds.
Well, that's a great run from Aidan.
He's been scragged at the end, dragged down by his jersey.
You'd love it there, Dale. They are footy mad, and they absolutely can support like no other club I've ever seen.
Go the Hull boys. 12 with a run. Moses Unge. Well, let's hope that the floodgates don't open here too. 24-10. There is a risk of that. And of course there's the World Cup coming up as well, gang. If you want to have a look on New Zealand Rugby League's web pages, they've got some supporters packages. I'm sure there'll be a contingent of Auckland Rugby League personnel going up there as well.
It's a big year. It's a big year through the COVID response we've seen in the last couple of years to get rugby league back on, and just the footy at the moment's been great. With the local league, which has been superb. We've had the NRL, which is just in the state of origin footy, and now we've got international footy to finish it off. What a nice way to finish off the year.
I reckon so. Both men's and women's World Cups.
We had the Tonga game here, the test match, which was just wonderful.
Epic, and then we had the return home, which I heard was tear-jerking for some to see the Warriors back out on the track. let's just maintain focus here for a moment too, because this is a very vulnerable time for the Otara Scorpions. You can understand how they might be dragging the chain. They've had to do a lot of defending, and now the little guys are starting to make their presence felt, and some of the big men as well, as Isaiah Vangala gets it back on the inside for Abston, and there comes the hard running number 6, is it? I'm just
Palu, I think it's Palu, number 16.
Paia Palu. Well, it ends up with a penalty anyway, so it wasn't a try. Offside.
Wagner with a lot of carries and opportunities and offload there, and he hits the man on the outside in pass. Why was that not a try?
Well, they need to fight. Fight like there's no tomorrow here. The Scorpions under the spotlight. The heat's on here for the Scorpions, the Lions. And here is Sua. He's strong, Sua. That's his second for the afternoon. Also, the back rower, Sebastian Sua, scored in the 38th minute and now crosses again to push the score further away from the Otara Scorpions. 28-10 kick to come from good field position.
Yeah, some good work there again, building and capitalising on the momentum and the ball that they've had, the possession, the territory that they've owned in the second half. And Seb, as we mentioned before, is very hard to get down, and he runs such tough lines too, and he just uses his body extremely well.
Deserves the 4-pointer though, Sebastian. He's had a really good game. And what I like most about him, he really backs himself, doesn't he? He's up against 3 big defenders there. But still thought, I've got the ability and the attitude to get through, and that's certainly how it panned out. There's the here's Aiden Ackland. Tino Pai. So Pai's good. Tino is excellent. That's like super good. That is just like super cool.
He's been super cool.
Let's have another look.
See what the defence here doing. I mean, they're big bodies, right? And they aimed up. The hit and stick was good. He's just makes it look easy too. He really does.
It's just a young guy too, so plenty of footy ahead for him.
He's Newcastle bound next year, so he'll be in the system. Oh, nice.
So they're Newcastle 20s, already contracted there. What plans for your young fella then? What's he have to do? He's at Burley now.
Well, he's got to start there and work his way through it, work hard, and be good. And then whatever happens after that, Dale.
Yeah.
It's a 3-month sort of look. And
what's your young fella's name again?
Jay
Barnett.
Yeah.
Rugby league fans, keep an eye out for him. Let's see how he goes. He's going with the Burley Bears. And, he'll do well if as long as he doesn't drink too many.
he's not even a drinker.
He's not as much.
But that may change.
Nice place, Burley, though.
Burley's a beautiful place.
Yep.
Lovely place. And it's good too because he's close to. He's got friends at Stone, and he's also got a good mate of mine, Jimmy Dimmock, will be there in case too. So always good to have people around.
That's vital, mate, because the pastoral care for our young players has been noted many times. It's very important.
It's the most important part of the transition for sure.
Well, we must have an empty house party at Richie B's tonight, guys.
Yeah, mate. Let's go.
The Lions in possession here. Good scoreline for them, 30-10. Just looking back through the scorecard too, because it was 18-4 at the halftime break. Tries to Peters and Ackland and Sua. Sua scored just before the break. And the one try to Tuipulotu in the 33rd minute for that first half lead of 18-4. But it was the Otara Scorpions who came back and scored first up in the second half. They were able to maintain possession here. Scrambling and Been flung around towards his own goal line. There's fullback Byrne. Slow to retreat some of the bigger forwards too, perhaps understandably. Rory Ropati was just hanging on to him for too long. So it's Fatiolofa scored about 7 minutes. Josiah, the hooker, 7 minutes into the second half. And that weaving run from Auckland, and then double scooping it too, with Sewer scoring soon after, pushing the scoreline out to what we witness here. 30-10 with 11 to play. Other matches on today. Tatu hosting the Margaret East Hawks. Bay Roskill hosting Manukau. And Richmond hosting Marist. All knockout games here this afternoon. You'll be able to check on the results on the Auckland Rugby League website soon after the conclusion of this game this afternoon. I think the Otara fans and supporters will be pretty pleased with how they've played. I know I've been impressed by the attitude here, but in the end, they're up against a crack outfit, and they haven't won multiple championships for no reason.
No, and the fact that Sua Masi, the coach for Otara, mentioned that they were just stoked to make the top 6, and anything else was a bonus. And I think they've played extremely well, particularly in that first half.
15 Fox Memorial Championships for the Mount Albert Lions over the years. And of course, let's just pay tribute to a couple of their notable rangatira as players who we've lost only the last couple of years. And two that stand out there, Ray Cranch. Or one in particular, Ray Cranch. Also, I'd like to acknowledge a former wonderful colleague and friend and broadcaster, and Shane Cooper.
Yeah,
he's such a decent guy and a lover of our sport, and I really enjoyed over the years calling footy with Shane. Richard Bolton came out of here. Heaps of top line
good work again.
Talent, and another try here. So we were anticipating there could be a little bit of a blowout. That's a hat-trick here for Aiden.
Nice play there from, again, Johnson Peters chiming in and using his speed and acceleration, and then again linking arms, the halves, providing that inside option. A nice little ball there, and then he just accelerated through, and then look for the inside pass, and who else? Aiden's there in support. Fraser has been in the same situation early on the first half, where he's capitalised on some good opportunities too on the edge, and it's underneath the post too, so that's always a bonus.
Yes, it is. It'll be 36-10 coming up in a moment. Can only be described as an ack attack.
Yes, the ack attacker.
A shame that the score has blown out here late in the game. But we know that it was always going to be an uphill battle for the Otara Scorpions. They came with plenty of attitude. It is commendable. In the end, just got some class runners, and it's a ton of experience here as Aiden looks to add the extras. So a beautiful Saturday afternoon here at the Lions Lair. And it could be curtain call too for the Otara Scorpions for 2022.
Yes, like I mentioned before, David Whalongo, about the young side, and I guess, steadying the ship is Aiden, who's created some good structure, came direct and lined up the defenders for the outside players to have some space and time to work their magic. So you just don't see how beneficial that is at times. But his kicking game's been on song too, just right on point.
Well, he had a bit of a chance to go across to Manly. I'm not sure how things panned out for him, but of course he returned home. And that's okay too, because he's contributing to rugby league in a great way here as well, Aiden, offering up his experience. He's played through the grades. He's still a youngish guy, mid-20s, but plenty to offer here. And of course they are preparing for what will be an epic next week against Point Chev.
Yeah, they got beaten not long ago either.
And here's a run.
Give it to them.
And turn it over. And away goes the fast and heart-sprinting Joshua Perez. And up goes the hands, and the yeehaw is fair enough too.
Well, I was waiting for him to get some sort of opportunity because he's blessed with pace. It's always nice to see speed. And they needed it too. What a way to finish off the game for Otara. Still a bit of time left, but good opportunity here. They had to take a risk, and they certainly did. It was always going to go to the edge. And late pass. That is incredible. And give it to the fast man, Perez. The speed star.
Joshua Perez. Good run from a man who's impressed hugely this afternoon. And Johnson Peters, he's got it going on, hasn't he? The fullback has showed great commitment on the chase. And Perez glides across the field. Peters with a desperate last moment effort. Wasn't rewarded. Thanks for tuning in this afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed the action. 36-14 now with a kick to come for the Otara Scorpions. As I say, they celebrated the opening of a new community facility at Otara Park through the year. And it's what's needed. I've been down to watch the young fella play tag down there. Like the place is a buzz. Otara Park is a huge facility. And great to see that it's being utilised even more with the addition of a purpose-built community sporting club rooms. Here we are, wide out. And they can certainly hold their heads up after this afternoon's preliminary knockout final here. That one unsuccessful for Louis Papali'i. 36-14, the scoreline here. As we count it down towards full time, there's still a little way to go. And again, just reminding you, we were chatting before we started our broadcast today about the fitness trail around Folwds Park. It's called the Ray Cody Fitness Trail. Ray was an esteemed broadcaster of our wonderful game, radio commentator back in the day. And of course, we then started banding around names like Des White, who was doing the same on the radio for many, many years. These guys were broadcasting before television came along, I would suspect. And then we had the very charismatic Mr. Billy Burgoyne as well in the mix. So it's a privilege to be fulfilling aspects of the role that they championed all those years ago. ARL TV, the Otara Scorpions. They've got something else to excite and inspire. There's a nice little run too down the left edge for Stanley Tupulotu. Taken out by Ropati. 3 to go. Underneath, Jacob Bourne tries to make some headway. I've really enjoyed Josiah Fatiolofa's contribution. This is Semau, but they've left it behind. Sita comes in from the far side, trying to capitalise. Play on, says referee Joseph Green. Just a couple of metres short of the halfway. 10 in from the far touch. The ball has been played at. And so they'll have another opportunity with ball in hand, the visitors. Taylor Papali'i with the spin on contact. Tupulotu will get another opportunity on behalf of his team as well this time around.
Yeah, nice run again, giving them a penalty, a good opportunity. Nice to see Otara post some more points, close that gap, because it has been a fairly decent performance from them in the first half. Scoreline's got away with it a little bit, but this will be a good opportunity for Otara to score some points and bridge that gap.
18-4 scoreline at the half-time break. You're sitting on 36-14. Will that be added to? Well, we'll find out in the next couple of minutes. Philip Solomona has the ball. He's wrestled to ground by Lafaele. 12 from the line. Here they come, the Scorpions. Are they going to deliver one to make the Scorpions fans smile? It's the kick out wide. Perez. And Perez makes a no mistake. Good work, Mr. Perez. Neda. Beautiful. Well, I'm always just a little cautious with the kicks early in the tackle count, but hey, there it goes. And Joshua Perez puts a smile on everyone's face.
Well, when you're that condensed and the opportunities there and the kick was on pinpoint and you've got speed on the left flank and you place it correctly, you've got this youngster. Look at the kick. He sums this up nicely, doesn't he?
Yes, smart work here.
So a wide pass, and then look at that. Just a delicate kick. Perfectly weighted.
And Joshua Perez is there to finish off. Those are good images, good scenes, really. This is what our local footy should be and is about. This is about lifetime friendships. It's about getting in and having a go with your mates. You're not always going to win, but certainly you can hold your head up high if you've given all you can. Joshua Perez, 2 late tries to bring more respectability to the scoreline, 36-18. Here in the first of our preliminary knockout finals. As I mentioned, there are 4 underway across the city today. So it's going to be interesting how things pan out. We won't be able to bring all those results here this afternoon, but we certainly wish all the teams who've contributed to a challenging year of Fox Memorial play all the best if they're no longer to be with us. Great that you were able to spend some time with us here as we sent Richie Barnett down to do the post-match interviews. But in the end, a solid performance here from the team that went into the match as favourites, the Mount Albert Lions. They've scored 6 tries to 4 and comfortably win this one here at Folwds Park, the home of the Lions, by 36-18. These are some of the wonderful images that we want to stick with, and we'll bring you back and get some post-match analysis with Richie Barnett and the captains. You're watching ARL TV. 36-18, it's the Lions who beat the Scorpions.
Gotta get up in the morning. Gotta get up. Every day I gotta try. Come on, get yourself up.
On and wake up in the morning. Body sore from last night's training. Dude run harder, tackle with intention. Make run the gaps and watch for interceptions. Keep it fair, keep it cool every section. Give your all, pass the ball, put your best in. Enjoy your day, strip your cover, your selection. It's the thing that you've been missing.
Don't play rugby league. It's all yeah. You are your club. Come on.
So plenty to like about what we've witnessed here this afternoon as the two teams come together. An 18-4 halftime lead for the hosts, the Mount Albert Lions, is converted into a 36-18 result. As a result, too, they will line up against the Point Chevalier Pirates in the next round of finals play as we seek out the champion, the ultimate champion for the Fox of 2022. Final due August 6th at Mount Smart Stadium. It was really an entertaining game. We're just awaiting Richie Barnett linking up with the reps from the two teams. But a lot of congratulations deserving here as David Fa'alomo, the Mount Albert coach, comes through and congratulates the Otara Scorpions on what will be their last head out for the year. Another milestone, though, for them to come up against the Lions. They performed creditably, and I was impressed with their attitude. The Fatialofa brothers were exceptional. McGrath Leulawai played strong. And Louis Papali'i, Mo, also chiming in nicely. 2 late tries to the left wing Joshua Penez. And we go to the Lions. Well, this is standout performances there today. Isaiah Vagana and Sebastian Sua were exceptional. Aspden, when he was on, delivered nice ball too, and did a nice touch to 2 teams, acknowledging collectively the supporters there at the Mount Albert Lions. Of course, Ian Auckland was hugely involved in the game, and at the back end proved just what a classy runner he is. And Marcus Fraser, likewise, was very skillful, but there's some lovely touches here and showing us what suburban club and local rugby league is and should be all about. So big ups to the connections, Matthew Sturm, David Fa'alongo, who both were exceptional. And we're just awaiting an opportunity here to have a chat with the captains. And it's fitting that we find out a little more about the Otara Scorpions, who were 18-4 at half-time, came back to score another 3 tries in that second half. Let's cross now to Richie Barnett, who's with their skipper.
Manu, thanks for joining us. Hey, listen, you must be happy with where you've positioned yourself in the top 6 and to come here against a pretty stoic Mount Albert side today.
Yeah, no, I guess throughout the season it was a bit hard for us, injuries and stuff like that, but we weren't going to let that be an excuse for us to, just fall off. And I guess we're just happy that we were able just to fight all the way through throughout the whole 80 minutes. So, I give it up to the boys. Tough season, but it is what it is.
I absolutely love the fact that your scramble defence in that first half was outstanding. It was relentless through that first half, so that was outstanding for you from that side.
Yeah, I guess coming up against Mount Albert, we knew, slowing the ball down, making sure that we cover all those gaps, it was a must. So, and that's one thing that we worked throughout Tuesday and Thursday, and it showed that, it was good, but I guess small little cracks happen here and there. So it is what it is, like I said.
Well, would you like to say something to your supporters out there and what you've done this year?
Yeah, just our supporters, I thank you guys all. It's been a rough season. You guys could have easily just left and not come back, but you guys showed loyalty, and we're proud to be to represent Otara, and we thank you. It sucks that the results were the way it was, but we'll keep running back until we get that grand final win.
We appreciate your time, mate. Congratulations. Well done. Rory, hey, listen, congratulations on the win. It was a slow start, but you sort of peeled it back at the end of the second half.
Yeah, slow starts seem to be a bad habit with us, but at points of the game we showed our better side, the side we need to show against Point Chev, but there's still some things we've got to work on. 1 week of training left, so we'll see if we can fix them. Yeah,
obviously your performance will need to be a lot better against Point Chev. There's a lot of learnings to take from this game. What areas do you think you need to improve on to get better? And obviously when you've got Point Chev on your sights.
Well, particularly with Point Chev, it just comes down to just making those tackles, sticking. Got some hard runners at Point, so if I can really need to just stick, put them on their back, as well as complete sets. If you don't do those things, you're not going to win.
So Aiden had a stellar game today. He directed the side around. His pinpoint kicking was on song too, so he'll need it to be his best too if you're going to be against Point Chev.
Yeah, he's going to rewatch this and he's going to love that. We need him to play his best. We need, pretty much all the boys to play their best. But when he's playing like that, it opens up for everyone else. So if he plays like that and everyone plays the best of their standards, then we should get past Point.
Well, all the best. Congratulations on your win today, and all the best for next week's game, Rory.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Wonderful to hear from the 2 connections, and it was Big Malu Fatiolofa who was speaking there. Lovely images too of Proud Dad with Moses Unge. Hope you enjoyed the action. Let's have a look at the second half tries. Aidan Ackland just biding his time until it was the right time to press the go button. He's got quick acceleration, but better than that too, he just realises when there is a lagging defence, and he was there to take advantage. Sua was impressive right throughout the afternoon. He scored a try just before the half-time break, and again as well was able to get across the line with a surging and powerful run. He's an impressive back rower, and of course Ackland as well was in with another try here when the pass was popped back on the inside to him from a very impressive Johnson Peters, and Aidan made no mistake. I think he converted all of the tries that were scored. But not to be undone, there was still some work here for the Otara Scorpions, and there was this effort. The ball was intercepted, and then Joshua Perez was able to smoke his way down the left corridor and get in the corner, and he wasn't done there too, because there was another to come late in the game for Joshua. So as Big Manu mentioned, just really appreciative of the support that have been provided to the Scorpions through 2022. They'll get a chance to rebuild for next season as well, and they'll remain a potent force here in Club Rugby League. But we bid them farewell and say thank you to them for this year's Fox Memorial Championship. As mentioned, it's a 4-week play down, so we've got plenty more football still to come on ARL TV. Hope you enjoyed the action here from Folwds Park. 36-18 winners, the Mount Albert Lions over the Scorpions. From me, Dale Husband, and also Richie Barnett. From Chucky, our director, and all the gang who put together the footage from Stream Shop for ARL TV. We bid you farewell until next time. Nei rā te mihi ka koutou katoa mo te wao matariki. Mauri ora, kia tātou. Hei ko nei rā.